So I had to wrestle this thing out of a deep pit. So that deep recession in the trunk helped me get it in the trunk. But then, like, when it was time to get home, it's like, oh, now I gotta get it out of there. And yeah, I used muscle in combination with some brains, and I made it happen. And I didn't break anything either. Super happy about that. That sensor was already busted. Anyway, so here's what happened. I have an AP1 S2000. The engine code, I can't find it on this fucking block. It's not in the normal places that it would be. And now I remember earlier, before I bought the rods, I went outside and I popped the hood and I looked around. I didn't see it. And I was just like, meh, whatever, F20. And I just ordered the rods. I bought Skunk 2 Alphas, and they're like $390, almost $400. And there's that. And now I haven't made money from VHP engines for the past like going on 2 months now, since I got COVID. Or I guess probably since a little bit before since I got COVID, I haven't made any money. So everything that I'm doing with the S2000 right now had already been planned, and I didn't want to miss my window, so I went forward. And as a result of that, I am now coming purely out of pocket to do all this work. And I thought everything was going to be good. I thought the only thing I needed was injectors and a rear main seal, which is like $10. But I was going to go get the injectors today, but now I ran into the whole situation with not having the rods I thought that I needed, and 2 of my flywheel bolts stripped on the way out. So now I need to buy a new set of flywheel bolts. That's not a big deal, but I need to, since I woke up, or about 2 hours since I woke up, 2 hours after I woke up, I've been like go, go, go today, which is typical for most weekends. And it's 10 o'clock now, 10 o'clock at night already. And I still plan on doing more work. I'm going to take a shower because I'm completely fucking oily and nasty, and I need to take a break before I do anything more. I'm going to die. Dragging this thing out of the trunk, dragging it across up the hill in my front fucking yard to get in here. Yeah, I'm just beat right now. And, so I'm going to go put this oil pump together and put it on the single cam, and then that's going to come down. But I want this block taken apart tonight. Well, I've been back to work now for like 3 weeks. This is going to be my 4th week. I'm probably going to call out of work. So I'm going to try and do this as quick as possible. At the end of the day, my goal is to pump gas build 450 horsepower. I know that this block will hold that, no problem. I know blocks that hold 600, with no problem on a stock bottom end. The most important thing is to build the head. The head is already, I've got my head package already, so I'm pretty sure it's the same for both of this, so that shouldn't be an issue. So the head's the most important thing. I've already got my head package. I'm going to do that. And I guess I'm just going to sit on those F20 rods until the end of time, because I don't know who the fuck I'm going to find to sell those to. I mean, they're brand new in box, but even if I was able to sell them at the same price that I bought them for, which is the $490, or $390, I still have to ship them and all that stuff. So there's no way I'm going to make my money back exactly on them. So this is one of those things, chalk it up to the game, $400 loss. But here is the stamp for the engine. The engine code is here, F22C1. And it's funny because you have to take off the manifold to see it. And Lee, my friend, I like very much, but he wanted to charge me $300 to remove the head. And I wasn't having that, because I charged $350 to do a rebuild for an engine block. So I'm not going to pay $300 just to pull the head off for me. So I had to go there and do work at his shop. So I did that. And as I'm taking off the manifold, I'm like, oh, look at that, F22. And I was like, wait a minute, F22. Oh no, that's a fucking problem. So sure enough, there's that. So anyway, like I said, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to chill out for a couple hours and then do some things I need to do. I want to get this head off this thing ASAP. I want to get this on the block, on the engine stand ASAP, and actually take a look at what's looking like inside. The car drove fine. I didn't really have any problems with it, other than an intermittent misfire. So I'm, just as long as the rods look healthy, I'm just going to do a stock refresher. I've got brand new piston rings. I was already planning to keep the stock pistons, and I got brand new bearings all over. So I'm kind of curious to see how fast I can do this, like how fast I can do the rebuild. Now, of course, this isn't going to be as intensive as I normally do for customers, because I don't give a fuck about so much how pretty it's going to be going back in. So I'm just going to give it a basic wipe down and then spray over top of that whatsoever left over. Now I'm not gonna take it outside and clean it and all that shit. And because FRM and I don't have anything to properly hone any FRM, I've talked to a bunch of people and they're just like, yeah, don't even attempt to hone it. Just throw it back together as is, as long as you're not scarred up. So as long as the cylinder walls aren't beat to shit, there's no honing is going to be involved. So it's just going to be checking clearances, making sure everything's healthy, which again, I'm pretty sure it is. There was no knock. I was driving the car for a good while before I stayed parked with it, and it's not smoking or anything. So I would imagine this is going to be a tear down, inspection, new bearings and rings, reassemble. Now, a lot of people would say, why would you even bother if the engine was healthy? Why wouldn't you just send it? Well, there's a couple reasons. One, because if you've been following this long enough, I've said I felt fraudulent to just throw a turbo kit on an engine that I haven't touched and then call the car mine. And I'm an engine guy, so and how can I advertise engine work if I'm not doing engine work? So even though this is technically, or it is a healthy engine, like I still need to do it. Plus, this might be the original. This might be sitting on the original setup, and if it is sitting on the original setup, that means it's got 152,000 miles on it. So 152,000 is a lot. So now we're gonna be reset back down to 0 miles on the bearings and the rings, and it's gonna be race bearings in there. So there are plenty of advantages of having just a refresher, despite the fact that how much we've seen. So like again, I don't know how much wear and tear this thing has on it until I take it apart. 152,000 miles. I didn't Carfax it, but I'm pretty sure this has been through a lot of owners in the past 20 years. So yeah, at the end of the day, I'll still make the power that I want, and of course, I just got to be a little bit more careful with my shifting. Got to be a little bit more deliberate. I can't be reckless because I don't want to send a rod through the block. At the end of the day, these blocks can hold up all kinds of power, but even though they can hold the power, having the forged rods over having aftermarket rods just means that you're stronger for a little bit more user error, which I'm not a perfect driver. I'm a good driver, but I'm not perfect. I still make mistakes every now and then. But hopefully the head package will be enough to make up for that. And I still don't plan on taking the rev line past 9,000. 9,000 is plenty enough rev time for this engine. So the main reason why I got the head package is because of the fact that it naturally revs to 9,000. Springs get worn out. Retainers tend to start cracking. So anyway, it's here. If everything goes according to plan, this will be a complete long block again this time, or by Sunday next weekend, and getting ready to go back to Lee's to get put back in the car. And I got to figure out what I'm going to do tonight. So I was supposed to pick up injectors, but it's late. I'm extremely tired, and I have to figure out what I'm going to do. So that's part of the reason why I need to take this shit apart, because if I take it apart and let's say the rods are looking a little toasty or whatnot, there's some damage, then I might just say fuck it, take the L, and spend money to buy another set of rods. But we'll see. We'll see when we get there. All right, guys. I know that this channel's been going like the better part of a decade, half of a decade now, and I haven't had a project car completion for VHP engines. I know since my original car got stolen in the beginning. So now you guys are going to be able to see one. Of course, my Integra runs, but it doesn't drive. It's not going to drive anytime soon because I'm not going to pay anybody to work on the car, especially after this experience. I know that even with friends, it's not going to be even the most basic thing is not going to be cheap. So it's just going to wait forever. I don't care. I'll wait for another 10 years before I have to work on it if that's what it takes. So this car the Integra's just going to get finished when it gets finished. Hopefully I have a plan with that, but again, I don't want to focus on that until the S2000 is done. Despite my recent setbacks in the situation I'm dealing with right now, I still consider this very close to being finished, because once I do the rebuild and put it back in the car, then it's just like little minor things like the tune and the alignment, getting the suspension bugs worked out, and then the car will be done. All right, guys, so again, thanks for watching. Like always, social media links in the description down below. Usually, if you got any questions, guys, ask them in the comments below. And do me that favor, because if you're sending me DMs asking tech tips and whatnot, I'm just not going to really be paying attention too much to that. Hit my DMs if you got business stuff to talk about, you want to talk money about buying something. Otherwise, if you just got basic comments and questions, then put them in the comments. All right, guys. So thanks for watching. Peace.